Beginning of Parshas Toldos, we find Yitzchak Avinu and Rivka Imenu davening for children, and we find that indeed Rivka conceived. And Torah tells us in Pasuk Kaf Beis, the children agitated within her. Vayitrodetzu habanim b'kirban. She said, Im kein lama ze anochi? If so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of Hashem. She didn't understand what is going on here. Why do I have such pains in pregnancy? And Hashem said to her, 2 nations are in your womb, 2 regimes from your inside shall be separated. The might shall pass from one regime to the other, and the elder shall serve the younger. The very, very famous Medrash, would like to try to Mirz Hashem understand a little bit more complexly, a little bit more deeply. Medrash we've all learned as youngsters. Source 3. The Rashi tells us, and the children crushed by Jotetsu, Al Korcha, you must say, Mikra Mer Darsheni. This verse demands to be expounded. Shisatam, because the verse remains vague. Mahi Risisazu, what is this all about? This crushing, this running. The Katav Im Kein Lamazanochi, Ravatenu Darshu, our rabbis expounded it, not as Lashon Ritzitza, as crushing, but Lashon Ritza, as running. Kishai Tal Ver Pitrei Torah, when Rivka would pass by entrances of places Torah, like Shem Ve'ever, Yaakov Ratz Umechvar Ches. Yaakov would run and toss about. Let's say, to get out of his mother's womb. Overdo Pitrei Vodazara, when she would pass by entrances of place of worship, then Esav would toss about to go out. And then Rashi brings another interpretation, which is the Shir B'fnei Atzmo. They are struggling over the worlds. Who would inherit this world? Who would inherit the next world? We're not even going to touch that part of Rashi right now. Very famous Rashi. When Rivka Imenu would go by one place, Yaakov didn't want to come out. When she'd go by another place, another child would come out. She goes to Hashem, and Hashem tells her there are 2 children in her womb. So let's try to raise a number of questions. Probably the most simple question is, why was that an appeasement for her? To hear that she has 2 children in her womb and the younger will, overrule the elder. What was this answer that made her feel good? What was in this answer of Shnei Goyim B'Viknech? Question 1. Question 2. This is source number 5. I understand why Esav wanted to leave. Why would Yaakov Avinu want to leave? He was studying Torah. He was studying Torah with the Malach. That's like the best teacher you can get. Why was he so anxious to leave? Third question. This is Moshe brings down. If Rivka Imenu saw that every time she passed by the Batei Vodazara, Esav wanted to leave, then why did she pass by those places? Just avoid those places, and she would have less struggling. The next question. So again, we have so far the question of why was this an appeasement, this answer. We have the question of why Yaakov Avinu wanted to leave, why Rivka Imenu passed by those places. She could have saved herself a lot of trouble. And probably the question on this Rashi, which really has 2 parts. The question that Rav Dov Yafa, a lot of them first should bring down, I'm just articulating in his words, is we know that Esav was Admoni, he was redheaded, which is a teva to be shafech damim. Not that all redheads are hot-headed, but there's a more tendency for this. Perhaps one would say, you could argue that from this medrash that Esav really had no bechira, no free choice. It seems like Hashem planted from moment go that Esav was going to be a rasha. He was going to run after Vodazara. And Yaakov was going to be, someone's going to run after Torah. So where is the schar v'onish? Where's the reward and punishment? Where's free will? It seems like this was predestined from before birth. And part of that question we have to understand, part 2 of that question is there a Yetzer Hara in the womb? Does a child in womb state really have a Yetzer Hara that they want to do different things? It would seem, as we'll see, that the Yetzer Hara comes only after a person's born, right? Yetzer Tov comes only when you're bar mitzvah, but when does the Yetzer Hara enter into a person? And finally, the overall question, which is the question we always like to ask, my friends, is obviously this medrash is here to teach us something. If the Torah is going to tell us that these children were struggling within her, there has to be a lesson for us. And if Chazal are telling us there was a struggle about every time she passed by one place versus another place, each one wanted to leave, there must be a reason that we need to learn something from this. So, my friends, we have our work cut out for us today. to try to understand what's pshat in this Rashi that's so famous, where we see there's so many questions. And I think as we're going to answer question by question, we'll go through each one of these questions and try to have a sense of the answers. I think by the end we're going to come across a mahalach, an approach that's really going to be an all-encompassing approach that will tie all the different pieces together, Mirz Hashem. So let's start with question 2, 3, 4, and then we'll go back to 5, if you've been back to 1 rather, and then we'll in each one try to understand the lessons for our lives. We'll really end with that question 5.